We're here with Don this afternoon. Thank you for talking to us, Don, today.
No problem at all. Always available.
Yeah. In the summer, I think it was June, was the last time. Well, it wasn't the last time we had a chat, but I remember you saying something along the lines of, at some stage, I'm going to have to sort of take it a bit easier. And nobody believed you because of who you are.
Well,
and then 4 months, I've never seen anybody work harder than you did for the last 4 months.
I promised that I'd get the club certificated. I promised I'd get the pitch built, despite not getting any help anywhere else. And I've done all that. Yeah. But what people didn't realise was back in July, my doctor told me that I had to have 2 major operations. If I didn't, then I wouldn't survive a year.
Okay.
And I put it off. I put the operation off in September because we were doing the pitch, and finally I've agreed to have the first operation on the 14th of December, and then I've got to wait a couple of months and have the next one in February.
Oh.
And people know that I've got heart issues. I've had heart attacks before. But the thing that that actually has really killed me is prostrate as well, you know.
Okay.
Fortunately, it's not cancerous, but they've got to take the prostrate away,
Okay.
you know, it's a very unpleasant operation, but it's got to be done. But, you know, I'm 70 in a few months' time,
Yeah.
and I've done enough. I'm quite happy inside of what I've done here for the club. I think I'll put it on a good footing. I know people will be glad to see me go, but the thing is, be very careful for what you wish for, because you know, I've seen lots of clubs that have had people come in and they promise this, promise that, and they've done nothing. And football clubs are not easy to run these days, you know, with the compliance, the certification that's required. The FA, for example, are so hot now, and it's going to get harder for people to manage and run football clubs. Financially, you know, we're seeing clubs in our league paying players £1,500 a week. It's just beyond me, and it's not something that I can share. I really can't. So therefore, there might be. I sent a note out to my people in Dubai saying that, you know, we got a fantastic football club up for sale. No, that's a joke, by the way. You know, we might get one of the Arabs that couldn't quite afford Man City stepping in, and
or a film star from
or a couple of film stars from Hollywood, to have a bit of fun. But no, all joking aside, I know people. Listen, I've never knocked supporters that knock me because they don't see anywhere near what goes on or what we have to get involved with. I mean, you saw some of the work that went on in just getting the pitch built.
Well, Nick and I came down, and given your health problems, I struggled to believe that in terms of how hard you were working.
Well, the thing is, it's I've done it all my life, and the thing is, you know, when you get a project, you've got to work at it to get it done. You can't, and also with this, don't forget, we had the Football League on our case, we had the FA on our case. Because the pitch was 8 years old, the licence was expiring, and it's all right then waving a big stick saying you've got to spend £500,000 and put a new pitch in, and of course, you know, I say to the fans, you know, are you going to contribute? You know, and I mean, great, they come in and pay their £10 or £6 or £1 through the gate. But you need an awful lot of people over the years to pay for it. And then, of course, we've seen referees that you know, our referees and 2 assistants used to be about £80, £90 a week. They're now £300 a week, £280, £300 a week. We've had a couple of occasions where it's been £340 for one game, just for the officials. Now, I understand things go up, and so, you know, I don't want to sound like my granddad, you know, when you get old, I remember when bread was only 1 10 8. You know, you can't be like that. I know things go on, but there's a time when you have to step off the platform and let someone else do it, you know?
Quite. Just
everybody knows Rascal.
Yeah, Rascal down here. He's making the background noises, everybody, in case anybody knows.
Rascal.
Hey, Rascal, don't bark.
Yeah. He's a good boy. He's very quiet.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing what you've achieved really over the last sort of couple of decades to sort of get the club. I mean, you just look out the window, what a fantastic pitch that is, and a fantastic facility with the thousands of 1,500 people use this every week. You must be proud, aren't you?
Well, yeah, listen, deep down, as people know me, I don't care about adulation. I don't want people to say, oh, he's done well, what I think. But what I do is I look at where we were and then next year where we are, where we've come from and where we've got to. And I can see progress. Now, obviously, there'll be a lot of people that want more and they want to reach higher levels and whatever. We all do, but it comes at a price, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, we run this club predominantly with volunteers, and most of them are a lot older than me, you know. So that's their dying breed in football. You don't get young people come along saying, "Oh, I don't mind sweeping out the turnstiles. I don't mind doing a litter pick. I don't mind emptying the bins." You don't get that, and so there going to come a time when clubs are going to say, "Well, look, we're going to have to go all employees and pay people," and then all of a sudden, you know, the costs go up.
Yeah.
You know, and clubs will fold, clubs will disappear, and then maybe there's a solution in a few years' time for the financial issues, but I don't see them. I really don't.
Yeah. So, obviously, the club is for sale now. When Kenny and me go to football matches away, we often the conversation comes back to when one of us wins the lottery, we're going to buy the club. So, given that we're going to win the lottery this weekend, so we come to you. What are we going to get? What you got for sale?
What, here? Well, you've got 14.5 acres of freehold land. We've got planning for 10 light industrial units. We've got our £1 million pitch. We've got planning for an extra 2 training pitches. We've got planning for extra changing rooms, etc., to be fully compliant. So we can get promoted 3 times. We've got planning to extend the building both that way with a restaurant and bar, and we've got planning to extend the building outwards. So all the planning issues, which has cost me just over £120,000, is all done and dusted. And we've also still got the land at the front, which the council have recommended as residential housing or whatever. Not so sure on that, but we've got an application that's been in, it's been suspended at the moment while we negotiate with the council on the type of housing. But do you know what? I'm still more interested in the football than the developments. But you know, if you get a young person with a bit of money, bit of ambition, and plenty of energy, there's loads of potential here.
That was the word I was going to.
There's loads of potential here for someone to enjoy a great football club, but also secure their money in the revenue on the business units, on everything else.
Yeah.
So
the potential is the big thing here, isn't it? In terms of the size of Ashford, was over 100,000 people live here now, don't they? So, and growing.
It's going to be the estimate. The demographics was going to be, I think, 140,000 in the next 10 years.
Incredible.
Well, that's quite a sizable borough.
It could sustain quite a big football club, I would have thought. So I would have thought this is a huge asset that should be gobbled up by somebody with money, somebody ambitious. So how long have we got to win this lottery ticket? How long do you think it's going to take to sell realistically?
Well, I've had today. I've had 6 phone calls already.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
From people that are interested. But can I just tell you that it's not just about selling to the first buyer for the most money. It's not about that. It's making sure that it's the right person, because what I don't want is the legacy that we're trying to build, and it might not be Man United, it might not be Arsenal, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's in a lot better state than it was when I came here. Much sounder state. So therefore, I don't want that destroyed, and so it's got to be someone that's got the right intentions. There will be covenants, there will be contracts to adhere to, and because you know, at the end of the day, I want the football club to not just survive, but also to progress. That's why I'm selling up. I can't take it any further, not without investing probably another 5,000 a week. Now, if we could build the industrial units, and if we could build the extra 2 pitches, that money is available. You know, the revenue is there. But have I got the health to go another 2 years building? I haven't at the moment. I really haven't. I know, I think I have, but my family and my doctor have told me not.
Just got to be realistic.
And although I always look healthy and try and look healthy, I know I'm not, you know, and so...
Well, it's interesting because Nick and I came to training a couple of weeks ago and we were talking to Derek, because Derek likes to chat, doesn't he? And he was saying that at some stage it looks like we'll probably sell it, but he said the key thing for him was he's got to sell it to somebody who's going to take the club on, take it forward.
That's what I said. I said, because I did say to Derek last year, I said, you know, I've got these health issues, and I said I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, but one thing that I will do when it comes down to me stepping aside is make sure that the right person takes over. And he said, yeah, 100%. And I said, and if anything happens to me, Derek, you've got to make sure you stand in my shoes and support that, you know, because it's key for the... But otherwise, everything I've done over the last few years is for nothing.
Well, you love this club, don't you? It's obvious.
Yes.
And the covenant, am I right in thinking there is a covenant on the pitch that it can't get sort of built, it has to play football then? Is that right?
No, there was a covenant that that was funny enough when we had the legal dispute with Minotaur. Minotaur went into court and they got the covenant deemed unenforceable.
Oh, right.
There was a reason for it. There's 2 technical reasons for it, but it's irrelevant anyway. We can. The other thing as well, in that covenant, it did say that as long as football was maintained at a level in Ashford somewhere, then you could build houses on here. So the covenant was worthless, really.
But you wouldn't have spent the money you spent on that.
Well, you don't go and put exactly. One of the reasons why now you've hit the nail on there. One of the reasons why I put that pitch in was to obviously safeguard the football anyway, because you'd be a fool to dig that up anyway, you know.
Yeah. And it's superb. You know,
yeah.
Well, we've talked to the players, we've talked to lots of people, and they all love it. They all think it's
fantastic. I mean, obviously, the last pitch was on stone, as most of them were. You know, as Mason had to renew their pitch after 5 years when they realised that, you know, you can't put you know, you want to put an engineered base rather than you know, a stone base down. So now we've got a tarmac base down. It costs a lot of money, but it's there for. Yeah, you know, it's there forever, sort of thing.
Obviously, change is difficult for a lot of people. People don't like change and what have you. It could be an awkward time at the moment, but you've got, in my personal view, you've got the best manager in the league here, and he's building a really good team. Hopefully, it won't be unsettling for him and then all the staff here.
No,
as well.
I've spoken to Kevin and the boys, and they're very, very professional. We've had a bit of a stop start, but don't forget they're trying to build a team for longevity. Now, obviously, we've had players that wanted to come to us, and the money that they've asked for has just been outrageous. Now, obviously, you know, I'm not going to criticise the footballers, because you get what you can in life, and if someone's willing to pay you £1,500 a week, whereas you was getting £150 a week, you can't knock that. I mean, you know, because it's a short career. But one thing that that Kevin is good at, and that is looking at talent that he can work on, and maybe in a year's time. I mean, we got the likes of Anthony Edgar. You've got Kamani Thomas have come in younger. They've got so much talent. They just need a little bit of work with Kevin and Adam and Tommy, and they will get the best out of them boys, and they love it here. Now, you know, they're the players that you want to work on. We've got Noah Carney. Noah Carney could have gone to 3 or 4 clubs for more money. He loves it here. He loves working under Kevin, because at the end of the day, we would like to see every 2 or 3 years another Max Watters.
Yeah.
You know, come through our system, go on and watch him on the telly. Fantastic. You know, I sat and watched another night, and when Max Watters come on, you know, you get a little sort of little, and you think, do you know what? He played for us and he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was and a nice kid as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm so pleased that he's doing well in football and earning good money. That's fine.
And you kind of think, well, obviously you've got to be kind of patient with the development of the team, and it might be a project that you know takes a few years before we start progressing through the leagues. Is what part of you thinking that we need some serious money if we're going to get up to the National League, that sort of level?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's you know, football's all about money.
Yeah.
You know, money's a dirty word, but it's like everything else in life. You want a bigger house, you need more money. You want a better car, you need more money. Money is it might be the root of all evil, but it's what drives everything. And so, you know, the clubs that have got the most money, or paying the most money, will probably have the most success. Is it sustainable? All the time the person keeps putting the money in, yes. But you see, what I've tried to do here is make a club that pays its way, can cover itself, doesn't run up loads of debt because it wants to win the league. So therefore, any investment or any sponsorship or money comes in can go into the team. You don't need it to run the club.
Yeah. So in terms of the team and Kevin, and I mean, they're obviously going to be a little bit concerned until it's all rectified, but everybody's behind them. As far as you're concerned, it's part of what you're selling, isn't it?
Well, Kevin knows me, and he knows that I'm not someone who's going to cut and run and leave the club in the lurch or whatever. That's not going to happen. And if it takes 5 years to sell the club, I shall make sure that I'm still around and it still works. That's the way it is. But Kevin will be safeguarded the same as the players and whatever. And my personal view is that if someone come in and they wanted to get rid of Kevin, they'd be fools, because Kevin has got a pedigree. He's got a history of putting good teams together. He's only been here a few months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen some great performances. We've seen some bad performances. Is the bad performances, fun enough, if you look at the statistics, is the bad performances played on horrible pitches, and the decent football's played on the all weather surfaces? Maybe we need two teams. You need a team to put out there on them rubbish pitches, and you need a team that can play on here. You know, I don't know. But the thing is, you'd be a fool to think that Kevin couldn't do the job. I mean, every manager that I've spoke to and every club I've gone to, they've all said the same thing. You've got a great manager there. You're very lucky to have.
It's obvious, isn't it?
So you know, that speaks for itself.
So he's part of the club. The other thing you said in the summer, way back, when you were talking about maybe sort of slowing down a bit, which is how you kind of put it then, was you were talking about you'd like to sort of stay in the club, have a little backseat role, as it were. So when you're better, when you're fixed, done all the plumbing and all the rest of it, do you still see you being part of the club?
Yeah,
or are you gonna
of course. But the only thing is, I won't be at the sharp end doing all the work.
But you still want to be here.
Oh yeah, and the other thing as well, you know, I've got good contacts in football. I've got good contacts at the FA that I'm always rowing with. I've got good contacts at the league that I'm always rowing with. But at the end of the day, it's professional. It's not you know, nasty or vindictive. But you know, sometimes, you know, if you've got a group of people that've all can have an input, then you go places. You know.
So no clean break. A consultancy role would sit you down to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it might be that you get a decent crew. And that they might not need any help, but I can still be a supporter. Yeah. And one thing that I would say, it would be great to come here and sit and watch the football and you know, not have to worry about arguing with the ref after the game.
But will you still be going to Hornbean on a Tuesday night?
No. No, I might have 2 pairs of socks to iron, as I always say.
I would have thought so. So, no time limit as far as you're concerned, but you would probably like to sort of sell it sooner rather than later.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about how the club, you know, will get on if I'm not around, because all the staff will tell you there's always something, whether it be the boiler that needs tweaking, there's you know, plumbing that's gone down, the main switchboard I had to sort out. The floodlights, you know, even though the new floodlights, we had a problem with one of the floodlights which I sorted out. You know, there's always something, and I know the whole place inside out.
Yeah.
And to get someone else or get a few people that know that is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what worries me, because when I came back here a second time, the place was pretty run down after all the work I did in 2007, 2008 and 2009, and I was pretty horrified, I must admit. I mean, there was toilets leaking, there was lights that didn't work, there was doors that were hanging off, there was things that all that is a lack of continuing maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, the maintenance has got to be all the time. It's got to be continuous. You can't leave a building for 5 years and think that it's going to look after itself. It doesn't. Not when you've got thousands of people a month going through a building.
No.
So I was pretty horrified, and so I'm getting it back so everything works, all you know, getting everything tidied up again. I want to make sure that it stays that way, you know.
Yeah, I don't think people sort of get what goes on to run a football club.
Every day.
They just kind of think it's like, oh, it's a Sunday league team, you just pick a team and out they go.
No.
But there's a hell of a lot to it, isn't there?
Well, and anybody that's been here knows it's a sizable building, but with, you know, what, 35 toilets or whatever, and God knows how many lights, and there's always lamps need changing. There's always leaks here and there. You know, I've got to say it wasn't the best build when it was built back in '87. It wasn't the
Stop it, you're underselling it now.
but the thing is, we tidied it up and we sorted it.
Yeah.
And over the years, we spent a lot of money on making sure everything works.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing is, if you know, with the new development and the redeveloping of the clubhouse, it could be a fantastic setup, absolutely phenomenal. You know.
Yeah, going on to the plans and the development and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, your daughter did all that work. How important is it to you to actually see that happen?
Well, I mean, obviously, listen, we haven't got big egos. We you know, they're fantastic plans. The council were absolutely over the moon with them and said it was one of the best. The applications that she's done, the council said it's some of the best applications they've ever had.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
Planning wise.
Yeah.
Now, if someone's got any ambition and they want to be part of a really, really good setup, those plans are perfect. But, you know, we didn't do them to sort of like, oh, look at me, look at the job I've done. We've done it for the club, to make the club look good.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about, oh, you know, look what we've done, look what, you know. Not about that. You won't see, my daughter's the same as me. You won't see her flying the flag saying, look how good I am, I've done. She's not like that. Do the job and be proud of what you've done yourself, and that's it.
Yeah, well, with 140,000 people here, you know, we still sort of talk about terracing down there and all the rest of it. And one day this being a football league club.
Well, this is the thing. It's got the potential, and it's very, very unusual to have 14.5 acres freehold in a site that's going to be surrounded by houses. Everyone, when I came in, I said, "Oh, we're so far away from the town." You've got the Court Lodge development going through. You've got Chilmington Green coming to us. You've got opposite us here, behind King's North scaffolding, opposite our drive, all going to be houses. Houses this side that's coming to us. Houses there that's coming to us. If you look at the local plans, all the houses are going to be round us in 10 years' time.
And again, you know, if you get somebody comes in with some significant investment, gets, you know, proper car parking everywhere, we're sorted, isn't it? Off you go. Hopefully.
Well, the biggest issue, if you go to all the clubs, even the decent clubs, you know, like Chatham, that have done really well, you get to a point where they can't go any further. They've got no land, and they you know, they haven't got enough car parking. Haven't got whereas here the sky's the limit. You know, you can put an all-round, all-seater stadium, no problem at all. Now that might be pie in the sky, but if you get a couple of Hollywood actors that come in and think, oh,
Yeah.
I like this. They'd come in and they'd have a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't they?
I
They'd
mean,
have a wonderful time with someone with a few million would have a wonderful time.
well, you know, that lottery win, we'll do it when we've got the money out. We were trying to work out how much we needed to be, weren't we? But you're not going to answer that because it's commercially sensitive. Anyway, Don, thank you so much for talking to us today. When best of luck with the operations. I'm sure it'll be fine. And when it happens, just from the people I talk to at the club, we want to say thank you for all the work that you've done, because somehow all the moans and the groans seem to get to the top of the pile. But I'm sure the vast majority of people are very grateful for what you've done out there.
Well, do you know what the biggest thing that satisfied me was on the first training session when our players, and when they signed for us, they said, we are having a new pitch, aren't we? I'm not signing unless we're having a new pitch. Yes, we're having a new pitch. So, of course, you're a bit nervous. They came down for the first training session. They all went out and they all came off the pitch and they come up and they shook my hand and they said, Don, this is fantastic.
Brilliant.
That's good enough.
Absolutely.
That's good enough for me. That's all I wanted was someone to say, that's good enough.
Good man. Okay, well, thank you for talking to us once again. And when you get there, have a really happy retirement, won't you?
Yeah.
Thanks,
All
Don.
right, thank you very much.